This is the story of Mr. COVID. Mr. COVID was born in China, but he travels all around the world meeting new people. What makes Mr. COVID different from everybody is that when he is close to someone or touches them, they become very sick. One day, Mr. COVID was going to the shops and he came across Mr. Greedy. "I'm going to buy a banana," said Mr. COVID. "Can you buy me an apple when you get there?" asked Mr. Greedy. Mr. COVID grabbed the dollar from Mr. Greedy and touched his hand. Immediately, Mr. Greedy got sick and began to cough. Mr. COVID quickly walked away. When Mr. COVID arrived at the shops, he grabbed an apple for Mr. Greedy and a banana for himself. Mr. COVID went to pay for the fruit, but then he sneezed on the shopkeeper. Immediately, the shopkeeper got sick and began to cough. Mr. COVID quickly walked away. On his way home, Mr. COVID came across Mr. Nosy. "Hi, Mr. COVID, why did you buy fruit?" asked Mr. Nosy. "The apple is for Mr. Greedy and the banana is for me," replied Mr. COVID. "And what are you doing now?" asked Mr. Nosy. Mr. COVID didn't want to answer any more questions, so he pushed by Mr. Nosy. Immediately, Mr. Nosy got sick and began to cough. Mr. COVID quickly walked away. Mr. COVID was now at Mr. Greedy's house. Mrs. Greedy was standing outside. "Mr. Greedy was very sick," said Mrs. Greedy, "and now he has passed away." Mr. COVID was very sad. Mrs. Greedy began to cry. Mr. COVID quickly walked away. When Mr. COVID arrived home, there was a man from the government at his door. "Hello, Mr. COVID," he said. "We have created a medicine that will make you disappear so you won't make any more people sick." "But I don't want to disappear," replied Mr. COVID. "You have to disappear," said the man from the government. "It's the only way that people can be safe from you." Mr. COVID was very sad. Mr. COVID brushed past the man and decided to go inside his house. Immediately, the man got sick and began to cough. Mr. COVID quickly walked away.